welcome to the Crystal Mermaid Full Moon in Sagittarius Crystal Tarot Reading. My name is Jessica. I am a holistic mystical dietitian here to raise and nourish the galactic consciousness with gifts of the earth and beyond. For today's Crystal Tarot reading, we are tapping into a variety of energies and bringing in tools to help us make it through these energies and support us as we move along our paths to higher living, higher consciousness. Let's talk about what's going on with the astrology. We have a Sagittarius full moon happening on May 29th on the Pacific coast. This will be happening early in the morning, about 7:19 in the morning. On the East Coast, about 10:19. Universal time, it'll be happening in the afternoon, about 3:19 p.m. And Sagittarius brings us into a space of expansion, exploration, and adventure, and it's represented by the planet of Jupiter. We also have the Sun, which is in Gemini. Gemini is a sign of duality and is represented by the planet Mercury. So Mercury is our messenger. Mercury is bringing in aspects of communication. So is the Gemini. On the same day that we have this Sagittarius full moon, we have the planet Mercury going into its home sign of Gemini. So the Gemini energy is playing in a double factor here. And it's alongside its sign, that's opposite sign of Sagittarius. Gemini and Sagittarius are 6 months apart, so they're opposite signs. Sagittarius is a fire sign, bringing in that creativity, bringing in the passion, bringing in the expansion. And Gemini is an air sign, bringing in the flow. So together, air feeds fire. And the two of them together can really be explosive, and there's a lot of intensity. But it's nothing that we can't handle, nothing that we can't control within our own beings. That's the key to a lot of this here is that all the control that we have is within ourselves. It's not anything that's external. Everything is internal. But don't forget that there is that dual nature that's appearing to show us what sides we need to explore. We need to look at the big picture in our lives and see both sides of the picture. See the grand scheme, see the broad aspects of what's happening right now. So we've got also some numerology factoring in here. On the 29th specifically, that adds up to the number 11. 2018 is an 11 year. So we have also twin portals happening. The 29 providing an 11 portal and 2018 providing an 11 portal. So any time we're encountering this 11 number, especially when it's doubled, we are again able to open ourselves up and walk through a gateway into something that is higher and better for what our being can accomplish. So for our crystal for this Sagittarius full moon, I've chosen to share with you the Carnelian stone. Carnelian is a beautiful stone with a dual nature all its own, a light side and a dark side. The color being imparted by impurities with the mineral iron. Carnelian holds the energy of our second or our sacral chakra. This is our sexual chakra. It brings in pleasure, it brings in passion, and it also helps us to rekindle the fire within ourselves. So bringing forth your passion and your creativity and rekindling that within yourself. Again, examining the dual nature of what it is or whatever you might be exploring at this time. The bigger picture. Carnelian is also a stone of welcoming, abundance, and protection. Makes a wonderful stone for your home to help keep protection around your home, around yourself. Wear carnelian as a protective stone. It is so powerful, in fact, carnelian can be used to cleanse other stones and remove the negative energy from other stones that you have around you, as well as yourself and your space. So tap into that dual nature of the carnelian and find yourself protected, inner protection and outer protection. See the light and the dark. See the internal and the external. You have the broad picture in mind as well. So I want to bring in another tool, and that is essential oils. And today I want to talk about orange essential oil. So orange is a wonderful, supportive oil. It brings joy and happiness just from its aromatic use. And remember that it takes only about 20 seconds for the aroma to reach your brain, to create an impact on how you're feeling, what your mood might be. Orange is uplifting. So bring that happiness, bring that joy, bring that revitalization and regeneration into everything that you're doing in this full moon time period. Use orange oil to help with digestion, and it also helps with nervous system issues because it's a very calming oil. While it is energizing and invigorating, internally it is very calming and can help subdue any issues that you might have going on an internal psychosomatic level. So use orange oil to help release your insecurities, and in doing that, foster inner peace, which helps to create harmony. Our third tool for today in our Crystal Mermaid Crystal Tarot Reading is, of course, our tarot cards. And I love to use my favorite tarot deck, the Tarot of Mermaids, where we have some nautical themes that come into place in terms of representing, rather than wands, we have oars. Rather than chalices, we have shells. Rather than pentacles, we have pearls. And we use the Tarot of Mermaid as an additional tool to help us in this time to move forward, like I said, nourish and raise our own consciousness as well as the galactic consciousness by living in a higher space that is more in alignment with our true beliefs and our divine path. So before I pull any cards from the Tarot of Mermaid, I always clear the deck, clear myself, and ask for a clear, guided, and intuitive reading with the support and protection and love of my angels and the guides that are around us, the energies, the supportive, positive energies that are around us. For this full moon in Sagittarius, I wanted to pull 2 cards. Again, just kind of reinforcing that dual nature, that opposite ends, Sagittarius and the Gemini being 2 opposite sides of the zodiac, the duality of the Gemini in its own, as well as the duality of the Carnelian in its own. So I want to look at especially the planetary aspects, with Mercury being the god of communication, the communication of the gods, essentially, the messenger, and with Jupiter, which is represented again around the Sagittarius aspect, with expansion, exploration, bounty coming in, the abundance aspect. So I've pulled 2 cards from the Tarot of Mermaids. And these 2 cards are representing that dual nature. Interpret as you will. Interpret how it feels comfortable for you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's all right. That's you honoring yourself. Allow this reading and these tools to be there in your toolkit for you to use them if you want to. But don't feel like anything is being imposed upon you. If you're not comfortable with it, and if it doesn't resonate with you, move on. So, the two cards that I've pulled. I've pulled the Nine of Wands in an upright position. And funny enough, I've also pulled the Nine of Chalices in an upright position. Bringing it back to numerology really quickly, if we add up 5 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8, the date of our full moon in Sagittarius, 5/29/2018, equals 27, which reduces to the number 9. Our tarot cards are both the number 9. The Nine of Wands, or the Nine of Oars in the Tarot of Mermaids, is a protection card. It's a barrier card. It's also surveillance and boundaries. So in examining your dual nature, where is your protection lacking, or where are you overly protected to the point that maybe you're not allowing something to come in that could be beneficial and positive to you? Have you drawn boundaries around what feels good for you, or do you not have boundaries and you just kind of allow everything that comes to penetrate in your being? Because it is important that we have protection around ourselves, and that force field of protection comes from within. So the Nine of Wands is asking us to examine those spaces and see where we can be a little less rigid, or see where we might need to put up some walls in order to make sure we're protected and that we can move forward in a pure, genuine space. The Nine of Chalices. This is a very physical card. The Nine of Chalices, or the Nine of Shells in the Crystal Mermaid Tarot, is examining our physical wellness, our physical well-being. It helps us look at aspects that need to be regenerated and rejuvenated so that we can find fullness and that we can find satiation, we can be satiated in our life. And that's part of the nourishing aspect of what this is offering us. An external and internal reminder to be nourishing to ourselves and to our environment around us. That is your Crystal Mermaid Full Moon in Sagittarius Crystal Tarot Reading, featuring the Carnelian stone, the energy and uplifting aromas of essential oil, orange oil, and the Crystal Mermaid Crystal Tarot Reading with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Chalices. If you are interested in crystals, rocks, and gemstones of your own, be sure to check out my Etsy page, www.etsy.com/shop/crystalmermaidgifts. And if you would like essential oils of your own, you can check me out through doTERRA at mydoterra.com/crystalmermaid. All these tools are wonderful gifts from the earth and beyond, here to help support us as we go through various transitional stages and astrological phases in our human existence. Like I said, use them as you will. Always step into your light and let your colors shine bright. Thank you for joining me. Aho.